a Kangaroo Fern production.
A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate.
Thing we can do is just get stops and run. Stops and run, guys. Push, push, push every time.
Extra session with Kiko Malikdem tackles everything about the world of sports, especially the one close to the host heart, basketball. Updates, discussion, clarification, name it. Extra session has it. Extra session with Kiko Malikdem. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Extra Session with Kiko Malikdem here in Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate, Philippines. And today we are lucky to have with us the newest head coach in collegiate basketball. Let's get to know him better as the spotlight shines on him this time. Without further ado, let's welcome Lyceum men's basketball head coach, Jeffrey Perlas. Coach Jeff, magandang umaga.
Good morning, Kiko. Thanks for having me here. It's my pleasure to be here, and I'm excited.
Yes, and of course, thank you din sa opportunity na binigay nyo. I know you're very busy, ang daming gawain, especially with the preparation of the basketball amidst the pandemic. How are you doing right now, Coach? Especially nasa pandemic pa tayo and the sporting world is slowly but surely getting its feet wet, ika nga.
Yeah. As of now, hindi naman kami tumigil sa mga sessions namin since na nag-start yung lockdown. Nag-start kami sa Telegram group. Nag-ano kami ng mga videos, trying to refresher lang sa mga players. Pero tulad nga ng nabanggit ko before sa mga ibang interviews, nung medyo nagkaroon na ng uncertainties na hindi mo alam kung kailan babalik, kasi from 30 days, biglang naging 6 days. So, doon na dumating yung Zoom sessions namin. We were not really familiar with Zoom sessions, yung nag-start kami doon. Pero, yun nga, naging maganda naman yung respond ng mga players. At nakikita kami face-to-face kahit through computer. So, tuloy-tuloy kami since then. Nagkaroon lang kami ng break for mga a week or two na nag-start yung schooling nila online.
I see. Now, for the benefit of those who really don't know or who really don't follow collegiate basketball, ano ba ang background ng isang coach, Jeff Perlas? Saan ba nagsimula ikaw sa basketball? Of course, lahat naman na naging coach, kahit paano nakahawak ng basketball sa pagsisimula ng kanilang career. Paano ba nagsimula ang career ng isang coach, Jeff Perlas?
Before talaga ako nakarating sa position na to, sobrang daming pinagdaanan. Just like any other coaches and any other kids na nagkaroon ng interest sa isang bagay is siyempre during their childhood, diba? Childhood days. So, I'm no exemption. So, during that time, yung mga early 80s, na-influence ako ng mga friends ko. Kasi, kapag pinag-usapan ng basketball, ang unang-unang tumatatak sa isip noon is yung PBA.
Yes.
UAAP, NCAA, that time, hindi masyadong televised eh. Kaya, mas alam ng mga tao yung PBA. So, yun nga, siyempre doon tayo nagsimula nagkaroon ng obsession sa basketball, yung kakapanood sa TV, and we have this to make course ito sa lugar namin na everyday nang pinupunta namin mga kaibigan ko. So, yun nga, doon lalo nagkaroon ako ng lalo ng interest sa basketball, yung napanood ko nga si The Big J. Yun ang childhood hero natin eh. Siguro hindi ako nag-iisa dyan.
Yes.
So, yun, since then, I was wearing number 7 already. So, just like any other kid, yung dream nila is to become a PBA player someday. Coaching was not that, parang hindi masyado siyang sikat noon because wala masyadong clinics, wala masyadong mga coaching clinics and even basketball camps. Kaya mas nakatutok yung mga kabataan sa paglalaro ng basketball. So, yun nga, doon ako nagkaroon ng interest sa paglalaro ng basketball. So, I was able to play sa mga barangay leagues and then sa intrams, and also yung nagkaroon din ako ng chance to play on a varsity level pero in a small school lang, not mga NCAA team or UAAP team. So yun nga, nagkaroon ako ng realization pagdating ko ng college na parang hindi ata para sa akin ang pagiging basketball player. Not because of the skill, but because of my height.
Yes.
So, yun nga. So, konti-unti, siyempre, I don't want to be away from basketball. So, medyo na-divert yung onting attention ko sa into coaching. Because I was studying at PSBA. Yun nga, nakita ko, sina Coach Koy na nagtuturo doon. And then, from there, parang mas coaching, parang okay din ng coaching. So, yun na. I was able to divert my attention na into coaching. So, nag-skip na ako ng classes, nagpupunta ako sa mga practices ng PBA teams. Yun, paunti-unti, nag-take down notes ako. So, yun, doon nagsimula yun. Pero, before having my first coaching job, I tried working for a call center. Call center sa bandang Ortigas yun.
Okay.
Hindi ko makalimutan yan. Pero, hindi kasi ako yung pang-office na klase ng tao. Parang, you're just there sitting and then calling. Parang, mas more ako sa mga field work, yung mga may ginagawa.
Yes.
So, paunti-unti, Sir Kiko, habang nasa work ako nun, siyempre you have a piece of paper, gano'n, magda-diagram ako ng mga plays na yun. So, parang na-miss ko yung basketball. So, unti-unti, I was trying to go back to basketball. So, after 6 months of trying to work in an office, nag-resign ako. So, yun. I went back to my alma mater sa PSBA and approached the coaching staff doon na if there is, parang vacancy that time. Pero yun nga, because of lack of budget, hindi lang kayang pasukin yung mga So, naman yun, sir, kasi gusto kong matuto. So, I just, yung voluntary coach ako doon. So from there, yun. Nag-try na ako talaga maging estudyante ng pagiging coaching.
Yes. Now, itong paghawak mo sa Lyceum, is this your first official na head coaching job sa high level basketball league?
Yes. It is my first time. Pero I've been an assistant coach for since 2008. Pero I was able to handle a high school. Ako yung head coach doon. Pero siyempre different yung ganitong level talagang as in, diba, this is one of the top collegiate tournaments sa Philippines. So this is very, very big an opportunity for me.
How do you feel? Nakakaramdam ka ba ng pressure? Kasi of course, yung na-replace mo si Coach Topex.
Coach Topex,
yes, medyo maganda record. Tapos biglang ikaw yung papalit sa kanya, parang hindi ka ba kinakabahan or ano ba ang nararamdaman mo? And if ever, ano ba yung sinabi ni Coach Topex?
So you want to start a podcast? Or perhaps you've already started one, but you're still unclear on how you can actually make this podcasting work. No worries. That's why we're here for you. We are Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate, powered by Kangaroo Fern Media Lab. Join our network. Contact us at info@kangaroofern.com because we're stronger together.
Yeah. Siguro before I go into that, siguro yung journey na napanggalingan ko, so from that high school competition and then my first collegiate coaching was with CEU, yung pressure na pagdaanan ko paunti-unti that time before ako talaga maput sa position na to. I was with CEU, tapos yung very PBA D-League. I was part of Cafe France.
Yeah.
So paunti-unti na-experience ko na yung big stage ng basketball. So I was able to learn how to handle pressure during those times. And then yung napunta nga ako sa NU, parang dun ko talaga na feel yung how a head coach can parang so pressured pagdating sa mga dikdikan na laro. So I was able to experience that kahit assistant coach ako yun. Maybe na-prepare ko yung emotional side ko pagdating sa mga ganon, yung ma-pressure. Pero going back to your question, yes, it's really hard to replace or difficult to replace somebody like Coach Topek because of what he can bring to the table. But being around him for years already, I was able to also to improve, diba, yung sarili ko as a coach.
Mhm.
Preparing myself also to be in this position. Kasi siyempre, may mga panahon na you're visualizing already. For example, pag mapunta ako sa situation, and Coach Topek really empowers his assistant coaches to think as head coaches also during that. So, baga ito, sama-sama naman kami dito. Kasi you mentioned about the record that we had, diba? For the past 3 years, masabihin natin na naging talagang contender kami every year. So that's really hard to match, but I just have to stay composed and yung vision ko for team, siguro in a way medyo mapapababa natin yung pressure sa sarili because I have excellent assistant coaches beside for this new adventure or new journey for us in LPU.
Could you describe anong klaseng coach ka, Coach Jeff? Ikaw ba yung strict? Ikaw ba yung mainitin ng ulo? Ikaw ba yung excited? Ikaw ba yung mabait? Anong klaseng coach?
Siguro through the years na meron na parang palak yan, di ba, sir? Na matagal, sumasarap, gano'n. Pero may personality since na nag-start ako maging assistant coach kasi I've been under different head coaches. So I was able to see different kinds of approach, philosophies ng coaches. And somehow I just pick kung ano yung right principles or philosophy na nakikita ko sa Coach Eric, from Coach Mon, now with Coach Topek. I can pick na kung ano yung nababagi sa personality ko eh. Pero yung just like yung tinatanong mo, hindi ako I'm really a composed guy pagdating sa games. I never had a technical foul ever since na nag-coach ako. Kasi mabait ako sa mga referees, mga kaibigan natin sila. So siguro it's more of yung baga coaches player, baga may sinasabi tayong ganun.
Yes.
Pero I'm making sure that may boundary. Mabait ako sa players. Though sometimes siyempre ulan tayo, yung temper din natin siya. Pero hindi pa ako dumating sa point talaga na masasabi ko na I'm talagang nag-curse ako or something sa players. It's more, instead of really shouting at them, I prefer teaching them na lang and show them the corrections, kung may corrections. But instead of cursing or shouting at them, tinuturo ko na lang sa kanila. Siguro it works for me. I don't know. I'm not sure with other coaches, but it's my way of dealing with yung mga pressure na ganon or ano.
I see. Coach, anong klaseng system ang ipapatupad mo for Lyceum? Kasi syempre may iba doon run and gun, may iba naman triangle offense. Anong klaseng system ang iaasahan ng mga supporters ng Lyceum under your care? Yeah.
Kasi ever since naman na nag-start kami rito sa LPU, I was tasked to be the offensive coach. Offensive system namin. So ako sa akin binigay ni Coach Topek. So sometimes kasi it depends on the materials that you have Diba? During that season 93 2017, we have CJ Perez, we have the Marcelino twins. So we have all those and energetic guys. Kaya we were able to sustain those court press, diba? And those dribble drive offense namin. Siyempre you have to evaluate then again yung materials na meron kayo. So we can be quick and we can be like yung slow down kind of team, pero still we're nagbabago-bago yun depende dun sa klase ng materials na meron nga kami, but I'm more of the yung sharing the ball. I want everybody to touch the ball, not just kasi just like in 2017, we started out doing the dribble drive offense. Kaso sometimes on dribble drive offense, minsan uuwi lang sa isang tao yung diba? If you can defender na, then tatakihin. But how about the 4 other guys na nandun sa court? So, diba, siyempre sharing, diba? But sharing is caring ba? Diba, may sabihan na gano'n. So, it's better to share the ball before attacking first. So, iba-iba man yung sistema, but the philosophy of teamwork yung dapat na nag-stay sa amin. So, yun nga, pwede kami mabilis ngayon, pwede kami mabagal ngayon. So, we have a lot of thinking players right now that can really create for their teammates.
Sino yung idol mong coach na parang sasabi mo, ay gusto ko maging katulad ng ganito?
Yeah. Yun nga, sabi ko na, growing up talaga si Big J. The way yung leadership niya, diba? The way he communicates with his players. So, dun ko una na, na parang na, yun yung sinundan ko, yung una yung as a player. At the same time, yung pa-content sa coach. So, ngayon, sa NBA, si Brad Stevens, si Popovich, and then Eric Spoelstra, siyempre, yung kababayan natin. Diba? You pick their brains Diba? You pick their brains, you learn from other coaches, and then somehow, kung ano yung babagay dun sa gusto mong gawin for the team, yun yung mga pinipili ko from them.
I see.
Yeah.
And based from the list of coaches you said, talagang sila yung mga mga player coaches at saka yung mahilig na umikot yung bola. Now,
yes. Before ko makalimutan kasi we were talking about yung sino ba yung diba, tinitingala nating coaches.
Yes.
Kasi there was this one time sa 2017 season nga namin, season 93, Coach Topex was suspended for 1 game because he got thrown out. So, our next opponent was Letran. So, head coach dun sa Letran was Coach Jeff Napa, nakasama ko before NU. So, that was I was the one who, who coached that team. So, diba, saan bakit nakilala si The Big J? Siyempre sa Never Say Die, diba? Yung minsan down ka na, then you never give up, makakabalik sila. So, it happened to that game kasi we were down by 17 the first half, and then 10 almost going to the fourth quarter. Yung parang for me, yung Big J moment ko, yung I was able to parang never say die na feeling.
Yes.
Nagawa ko that game. So, it's really a memorable game for me. Kahit for one day, nagawa natin yun.
Yeah.
And hopefully, magkaroon tayo ng ganong mga, pero hindi yung hahabol na gano'n. Sobrang hirap humabol ng gano'n.
Nakakapagod.
Yeah.
But of course, syempre maraming nawalang players sa team, sa Lyceum from last year, and then yung hawakan. No? But then ang advantage nyo naman is that you'll be having players from San Sebastian. Yung mga ibang players like sina Renzo, nalimutan ko na.
David.
Yes.
Baichong.
So,
Alvin Baichong.
kahit paano yung chemistry na doon na rin kasi nagkakakilala sila. How do you approach, kasi syempre sa isang team, iba-ibang egos niyan. Iba-ibang grupo yan or barkada. Paano mo sila napagkakaisa, coach?
Actually, that's a good question kasi the culture that we already established here, diba? Sobrang the love, serve, care, mantra namin dito sa LPU. Baga, lahat ng players na mapupunta sa amin, alam yung culture namin. So regardless of what kind of culture that they come from, baga, niisip na kailangan namin maka-adapt dito. Pero syempre it's not that easy sa start, syempre because of the yung nakagawian na nila. Pero for us coaches, it's our responsibility also for the other players na nandito na sa amin to feel to welcome them with open arms. And then be an example to them. And then we have also the seminars that we na natenan. So, pina-attend din namin itong mga new batch na to.
Ah,
So, ngayon, na-embrace. It's a matter of sacrificing for the team. Eh. It's not about one player or two players. It's about the team. So, once na-embrace mo yon at naintindihan mo yon, it's parang mahihiya ka na hindi sumunod sa ganun. So, we're very lucky with our recruits. Tulad nga na nabanggit mo, si Navarro and Jason.
We are Independent Podcast Network. We are Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate. Would you like to hear your brand while supporting quality podcasts? Contact us now at advertise@guerrillapodcastsyndicate.com.
Those struggled on their first year, but it's really it's really something na ang hirap kasi sundan ng yapak ni na CJ Perez.
yes.
But you just have to be yourself. And then that's our responsibility also to be the leaders and to guide them. Diba? So it's for as of now, kausap ko yung mga yon. I think last week I had a conversation with these guys na I really need them to be the leaders for this team.
I see. Now, you said earlier kasi you've been under the UAAP system and then the NCAA system under Coach Eric and Coach Topex. Ano yung pagkakaiba sa kanilang style and demeanor? And if there's one thing that you'll get from Coach Eric and Coach Topex, ano yung kukunin mo for you to embrace it para ibigay sa Lyceum this time?
First of all, yung both coaches na nabanggit mo, they're two excellent coaches. They have different personalities, but they have almost parang the same approach sa laro. The thing that I really learned from Coach Eric is to attention to details. That's one thing na hanggang ngayon dala-dala ko sa LP, so yung attention to details when it comes to fundamentals. Very important ang fundamentals sa basketball. Yung very basic to advance kasi it's really hard to be on the advanced side right away na hindi nyo nadaanan tong simple things, yung mga basic stuff ng basketball. So yun yung nakuha kay Eric, and also yung both of them are good communicators, very articulate, and also good motivators. So yun yung mga nakuha ko sa kanila. And I'm trying to incorporate do sa gagawin ko for LU. Siyempre, it's really hard to, hindi na gayahin talaga sila total because I'm different from them.
Yes.
So I have, but the thing is, I have to also make my own identity. But hindi nalalayo. Hindi nalalayo doon. So I'm just picking their brains kung ano yung mga kailangan ko matutunan. Pero yung ngayon natutunan ko kay Coach Eric is the fundamentals, attention to details. Kay Coach Topex is how he motivates the players and how he communicates with the players. So, yun yung mga natutunan ko sa kanila. Kaya I'm really, really lucky to be mentored by these coaches. And to be put in this position. And hopefully, I can duplicate or even surpass yung expectation din sa akin ng LPU community.
I see. Was there a time, syempre nasa coaching staff ka na may mga iba-ibang, like what I said, iba-iba yung egos or attitude. Was there a time na may isang player lumapit sa'yo, sabi, Coach, tulungan mo naman ako, bigyan mo naman akong playing time. May nangyari na ba yun? At saka, ano yung naging reaction mo?
Yeah. Kasi ang unang-unang pupuntahan talaga ng mga players is the assistant coach.
Yes.
May sila na, syempre, sila sabihin sa head coach yun. So, it happens all the time. But instead of parang makiramay ka agad sa kanila or ka doon sa mga sasabi nila, you have to also show them or tell them ano ba yung hindi nakikita sa'yo ng head coach kaya hindi ka nabibigyan ng ganong playing time or ng trust. I think you have to show it first at the practices. So doon pumapasok yung accountability din ng isang player na it's not just about playing 10, 15 minutes in real actual game. But what can you offer or what can you do to help the team even in practice? Diba? May mga ganun players Just like yung sa ano kami, yung sa NU before, even here sa LPU, whether we have the first group, second group,
Yes.
third group, or the scouting group, diba, you have those players. So, how can you help if you're in the third group? Paano ka makakatulong sa team mo? Pahirapan yung first and second group sa practice. And then, the whole team will benefit from it. Diba? And then, pag nakita ng head coach mo that you're really pushing yourself, and pinapahirapan mo yung team 1 and team 2, definitely mabibigyan ng playing time. So, kailangan itindi mo rin sa mga players yung binigyan kayo ng role ng coach. So, your time will come. You have to be patient, just like coaches, then just like me. I've been very patient for diba? Tagal na 10 years and to be put in this position. So, parang ganun din sa players yun. Your time will come. So, just instead of parang you feel down or feel diba, about that, you have to think first, what can you offer sa team kung hindi mismo sa actual game.
I see.
You have to be a good teammate to your players. To your teammates. Diba?
What was the most disappointing event in your coaching career?
Siguro yung unang pinakamasakit is yung I wasn't able, yung unang-una, yung first high school coaching job ko, 2004. I wasn't able to bring out the best sa mga players ko because I skip a lot of things. I was really focused on the 5-on-5 situation already, forgetting about the fundamentals, teaching them the right way to play. So yun one of my disappointing kasi I could have done better. Pero skipping again, yung fast forward tayo, yung second encounter ko dun is yung na-knockout kami ng UST. We were number 1 sa 2013 season ng season 76 ng UAE. That was my first NU. And it was really, really difficult for everyone because we were number 1. Twice to be tatalo kami ng UST. And then, syempre, pag tatalo kayo ng ganun, lumalabas yung mga rumors about being replaced, about the whole coaching staff, lumalabas yung rumors. So, para sa akin, really devastating because it was just my first year. Diba? It was my first year na to be with NU, di mawawala ka. So, pumasok yung mga ganung nagkaroon ng anxiety about that, di ba? Pero, siyempre, after that yun, nag-champion nga kami. And then, sa LPU, siguro yung first 2 seasons namin doon. Kasi it's really hard talaga, nasa bottom kami yun. Parang feeling namin, are we a right fit for LPU?
Yes.
Kasi ang hirap siguro hindi yung sistema na gusto namin hindi bagay sa players. Or yung players namin talaga hindi rin bagay sa sistema na gusto namin. So it's really hard talaga to be in that position na you're really trying to change the culture there pero laging bitin. So we were very thankful about that yung marami kaming napalitan and then we have this new batch of players na recruits namin. So it changes everything for LPU.
Yeah. I see. Now, with Coach Topex moving up to the BBA, it meant na bibitawan niya yung coaching duties sa Lyceum. Were you surprised na ikaw yung chosen one?
Like what you hear so far? Make sure you never miss an episode by clicking on the subscribe button now. This podcast is possible by listeners like you. Thank you for your support. Now back to the show.
Siyempre, ang naka-surprise sa amin dun is yung how everything was so parang it was so fast
Yes,
it wasn't expected talaga kasi nalaman na lang namin yun is on the day itself na in-announce si Coach Topex as the interim coach ng Phoenix. So talagang nakakagulat and siguro kasi nasanay na rin kami for the past 5 years there are times na wala si Coach Topex sa practices because of his commitments of Alaska. The first part of ng LPU days namin nasa Alaska and then the second part nga nasa Phoenix siya. So may times talaga na I was the one facilitating the practices.
I see.
So even mga preseason tournaments, ako yung nagko-coach. So, yung transition saka yung pagpili siguro sa akin, not that surprise sa aming mga coaches kasi we've been used to it already. Siguro yung mas nakaka-surprise dun yung biglaan lang na nangyari na gano'n. So,
yes, exactly.
it was really yung unexpected.
Now,
so yung surprising nga.
yes. What will be your strategy in forming a team right now?
We already established, actually, we were already 40 to 50% of our preparation before the pandemic happened. Kasi we started second week of December, then we have this December break. Then we already, nagkaroon na kami ng foundation fundamentally on both defense and offense. We already somehow established a system of, during that time already. So, we were trying na kung effective yung ganong system. Kaya nagsumali na kami ng pre-season tournament. So, the strategy is pretty much the same. Now that I can have a freedom na mas i-tweak yung ginagawa sa LPU, so we have to teach that ulit. So we're the price again pag bumalik tayo sa normal, parang magba-back to zero ka dyan eh.
Yes.
Kasi it's really different yung dribbling lang kayo sa session and lifting weight. Just like sa PBA, nag-a-adjust pa rin yung mga PBA players because there's no time for actual scrimmages eh. Biglang PBA na agad eh. So,
wala sa condition eh. Halatang wala sa condition.
Wala sa condition. Yung first day nga nanonood ako, parang 30% lang yung takbo nila eh. Tapos everybody was parang kala mo overweight eh. Malalaki yung muscles nila, medyo mababagal, nag-iingat. About sa side naman ng NCAA and UAAP, bibigyan for sure ng ample time to prepare. So yung when it comes to strategy, yung bread and butter namin na full court pressing, we still be the same. It's gonna be our identity, but we're gonna put tweak on the things that we're doing already. Kasi lalo na ngayon medyo nag-reload yung mga ibang teams like like Letran.
Yes.
Diba? And San Beda also. San Beda naman is always a contender, diba? Every year. So we will try to be as competitive as we can, but no guarantees. But the only promise that I can give my players and then the bosses is we will compete every game.
I see.
And we will try to surprise them. Some of the critics dyan, magkakaroon siyempre tayo ng critics.
Ano immediate goal mo for the first season as a head coach?
Siguro just the welfare of the players, diba? Players development. And then from there let's see. Paunti-unti natin gagawin. It's really hard to Siyempre magkakaroon tayo ng goal, hopefully Final Four, and then but we're ang pinaka objective namin dito is to bring back that fun, that inspiring kind of approach sa game namin. Somehow medyo last year nag-struggle kami sa ganun because of the transition of players. So ngayon, given the time to prepare, hopefully we can regain that killer instinct, and then
yes.
Yan.
Coach, sinong collegiate player yung pinapangarap mong makuha sana sa team mo?
Hirap na tanong nga, baka mag-jealous yung mga players ko. Kaya actually
nawala sa team mo pa ngayon. Yun.
Right now kasi for me na wala na akong gusto pang hanapin pa sa mga nakikita ko sa mga players namin meron kami because of that the chemistry that we already built, diba? Namin. Pero siguro ang hinahanap na lang natin dito is yung pagdating sa skills wise is yung athletic big man ay isa sa mga pinapangarap ko rin na magkaroon in the near future. Para mga mala Troy Rosario yung dating. Pero it's something na hindi ko masyadong pinofocus kasi we're really focused on the players that we have right now. and then build on those yung mga young core namin, we have lots of promising young players. So they may not have a good year this year, di natin masasabi, pero they're part of the future of L2. That's why we're very excited. Parang rebuilding kami onte,
Yes.
diba? Because yung core namin from that season 1994, unti-unti nang nawala, dalawa na lang natin. So it's really a big challenge for me and the whole coaching staff. But it's a welcome challenge for us.
I see. Coach, ito last question bago tayo magtapos. Ever since na pumasok ka sa collegiate basketball, sino yung top 5 players na nakita mo na magaling maglaro talaga?
Siyempre, unang-una dyan si CJ Perez. Di ba? Di ba? CJ Perez.
Their own, di ba?
Yes. And also, siguro, si Robert Polik because yung how he handles the pressure.
Yes.
Yung talagang pag nakikita ko siya, nagsa-scout kami, yung leadership niya. Diba minsan nakikita mo parang yung mga teammates. Siguro he is a born leader siguro. And then, syempre, yung dalawa pa dyan, si JC Marcelino. Because yung unang-una ko siya nakita, silang dalawa ng kapatid niya. They have this, parang tawag ko nga sa kanila before, yung Manny Pacquiao hair. Yung dating may kulay, haba. Ganun sila sa amin. Tapos mga payat. Nagpa-drill ako. Bakit ko nagliliparan. Diba? So parang, wow. Si JC Marcelino, he's a special athlete. Very, very athletic. And then yung puso niya, hindi mo masusukat yun. Yung skills niya, hahabol yan eh. But yung puso niya sa paglalaro. So that is my third player. And then, syempre, yung isa pa naming heart and soul, si Jesper Ayay. Diba? Isa yun sa talagang makikita ko na nanggaling sa baba from Team B na hindi namin masyado napansin early part ng months namin sa preparation during the season 91. Tapos nakita ko siya during one of our games out of town. Sabi ko, this guy is gonna be special because hindi sumusuko eh. Undersized power forward siya sa amin, pero he was able to rebound against SA, mga sinapong kuwa. So, yung hindi minsan yung hirap ituro niyan eh, yung puso eh, di ba?
Yes.
So, yun, 4 na yung 5, mahirap, ang dami. Diba? Kasi ang dami kong nakitang magagaling tayo na players na dumaan sa sino pa yung 5 natin.
Sige, kahit yung nahawakan nyo na lang. Yan.
Nahawakan ko. Siguro si Mike Harry sa center. Kasi he's a very coachable guy. If you give instruction, he's not going to argue with you. He's just gonna listen. Hindi ko siya na-encounter na nakipag-argue sa akin. He may argue with some of the coaching staff pag may mga correction or something. Pero me personally, hindi kami nagkaroon ng ganun. So I'm very happy for the respect that he showed me for 3 years. I think 4 years sa LPU. So I'll put Mike Harry there.
I see. Now, any message to the Lyceum supporters, family, and friends?
Una, I would like to thank you, Boss Andrew Lopez, our president also, si Bobby Laurel, for trusting this decision of Coach Topet also na to parang ni-recommend niya to be the head coach. Hindi nagdalawang isip sina boss with regards to this. Makita mo yung support nila, diba? It's really a morale booster for me. No promise for this season, but I'm gonna do my best to the LPU community because here for us. It's gonna be a long season. It's gonna be hard. There's gonna be challenges along the way. But with your support and with the support of the coaches and players, I hope na mas magiging smooth tong transition na to. I'm sure that you will enjoy this coming season. Again, no promises, but I will gonna do my best to represent to represent this institution sa NCAA.
I see. And of course, thank you ulit sa time na binigay mo sa amin or sa aming podcast, Coach Jeff. And
Thank you, Kiko. Thank you, sir.
We wish you good luck sa first year mo as the head coach of the Lyceum team. And of course, I'm sure marami pang malayong mararating with you at the helm or at the front of this team. And of course, hopefully we can still get you in the near future, lalo na pag ang ganda ng performance. Mamaya mahirap na makuha. Anyway, and that wraps up another episode of Extra Session with Kiko Malikdem. I would like to say again thank you to Coach Jeff Perlas. Good luck again.
Thank you. Thank you.
And in behalf of the Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate Philippines, games are always exciting if there is Extra Session.
Thank you for listening. Make sure to visit our website at www.guerrillapodcastsyndicate.com, where you can subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, or via RSS, so you'll never miss a show. While you're at it, if you found value in this show, rate and review this podcast and share it with your friends. You can also join the conversation with Guerrillas RV on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please consider on making a donation to help us keep making the podcast you love. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to us. A Guerrilla Podcast Syndicate production.